I would like to talk to you about the De1Xl De1Xl model. Now it comes in black and white. Now this is the tabletop model. It's the same model, except that we've got it on top of a table instead of inside a bracket. If you put it on a table, then you can see the legs. It's a little bit taller, but you can reuse a hole that you might already have in the countertop. Then there's this panel, which is magnetized, which goes on the back. This is where the normal D1 Pro would end. Now what we've done is we put these extensions here, which have magnets on them, and all our tubing is now hidden back here. The nice thing about this is that you still have full access, and all you have to do is remove this panel. But customers will never get in here and cause trouble. So here I am removing the panel. You've got a right angle plug. This cable here goes to the catering kit, which looks like this, and plugs in here. It allows you to bring water into the water tank automatically. There are two versions of this. One is for plumbed in pressurized water, and the other is for a water tank, and that's a pump. The clean water comes in here automatically, and then the dirty water is coming out from here with this black tube. The tablet is glued on to this bracket so it can't be stolen. The drip tray on the De1Xl is plumbed, and what that means is that this ceramic drip tray has a hole in it, and there's a tube with a right angle that goes out the back and down. If you don't want to plumb it in, we also give you one of these, which is a drip tray without a hole in it. So bear in mind that the De1Xl model can be used both plumbed in and standalone, and we give you everything when you buy this machine to do both, so you can switch your mind. You could have it in a cafe one day, and another day take it on a gig and have it out just filling the water tank as you go. The water tank here is 2 liters large. Will make about 20 espressos each time you need to fill it. This model has a much larger Pro steam wand that has quite a bit of movement. It also is much larger, so you can use a 1 liter milk jug at a time and steam more milk at once. The idea behind this group head handle is to save your shoulders from injury, because if you're doing this all day with your right arm, it's not very good on body mechanics. So what we did is came up with this idea that you would lock the portafilter in with your left hand and then just squeeze with your biceps. Internally, this model has the same guts as our Pro model, and it's meant for continuous use. You'll find that an espresso takes about 1 minute to make. If you steam milk and make latte art, you should count on about 2 minutes to make it. Our strategy for commercial use of our machines is always to have single groups. We do not make 2 or 3 group machines. Now, the reason for that is that way each machine is completely independent. If one were to fail, you're easily able to keep working on the other machines that are there. The other thing about these machines is they're quite light, and we ship them to you in a suitcase. So if a machine does fail, you can pull it right out and put a new one in and ship the old one back to us. We have a 2-year warranty where we take care of all the costs, both shipping and repairing during that period. So far I've been talking about the De1Xl model as it sits on a tabletop, but it does ship to you with this. Now, the origin of this comes from a conversation I had at a major Italian espresso machine vendor, and they were laughing a bit about how many cafes they had flooded. As a software guy, that sounds to me like bad design. You should be able to make a machine so that if something goes wrong, the result is not flooding your customer's premises. And so this is what we came up with. This is essentially a sink. What we do is we cut a hole, and then we put this sink in, and then the machine sits in directly. We have this huge drainage tube. This drainage tube serves 2 functions. Firstly, the drip tray goes directly into it with a short little tube, so most of the time no water is going into the sink at all. But secondly, if there were any sort of internal leak, or what happened to me at a trade show, I had a customer who just poured his coffee right next to the machine. It can happen. It goes into the sink and then it drains out. And this we've made really industrial strength plastic with a metal reinforcement, so there's no way this is going to kink or block up. This thing is made of brushed stainless steel. It weighs a good amount. It is pretty much indestructible. We've cut holes on all the sides to make it easy to access. And once you put it in a hole like this, it's not really going anywhere. The machine is really solid. These holes here are if you are concerned about theft. You can put bolts in here and that will lock the machine down so that you can't pull it out without pulling the bracket and the tubes and everything else out of there. Most places don't have to worry about their espresso machines leaving, but it's a cute machine. Maybe you want to lock it down. All right, let's walk through putting this bracket in and I'll show you how the espresso machine fits. This here is the white model of the XL. You see I'm holding it up. Weighs about 13 kilos, so it's totally doable to take it, put it in your hands, and then drop it, not literally, into the bracket. This is what the drip tray looks like when you've got the short little tube extension on it. The idea is that you can now take this and it goes straight in like so. After you put the drip tray in, you can then put the cover in like so, and you're done assembling the machine. One small difference between the two models is on the tabletop model, all the plumbing goes back here, whereas on the countersunk model, all the plumbing goes to the front. Now, the reason is that most people who have existing espresso machines, their holes for their pipes are already in the back of their tables, whereas if you're cutting a hole for this bracket, we prefer that the drainage from the drip tray goes straight down. So that's why we put the hole in the front. Now, when you order a De1Xl, what we do is ship you a De1 Pro immediately in a suitcase. And the reason we do that is because that machine is smaller and portable. Now, that's easy for us to airmail it to you. You get it in 2 or 3 days. If ever there's a repair problem, that's what you want to airmail back to us, rather than the larger thing with the sheet metal and the larger chassis. Now, to clean it, it's pretty straightforward. The drip tray cover comes right out like so, and then the drip tray comes out as well. You can now take this and wash it up. If you needed to get inside the machine, no problem. This whole thing lifts up like so, and now I have access to the sink and everything in order to wash up. Bear in mind, this is the same process. If for some reason this machine were to break, you would just pull it out, put a new one in, and we'll send you a replacement. That's an overview of the De1Xl. It's available in both white and black. You can either put it on a tabletop or you can countersink it. If you've got any questions, please send us a message.